And hi guys, we've got everybody here, even though everybody's looking down at the moment. How are you guys tonight?
Yeah.
One day I'm going to teach you guys to actually both talk separately and actually talk instead of just looking at the camera.
Sorry, I must have had a bit of technical difficulties. No, I'm being serious. You froze up on my end.
Oh, right, okay. In that case, we've got to let that one go. So, how are you both anyway?
Not bad at all.
God, do you think Jay's still up on his bloody donga, wouldn't he? He's still got this massive delay going on.
Maybe it's selective hearing.
I was going to say something along those lines, but I thought, yeah, I better not.
Well, come on, I'm old.
Oh, not as old as me.
I'm not far behind you.
We're not here to play the age game.
No, because I'd win that one anyway. But yeah, so we got family over at the moment, and as you guys know, my grandson has been watching a lot of my YouTube stuff that I look at, which is all into the paranormal and all those sort of things. And he's getting right into it, and he's also really keen on doing some podcasting as well of his own, and a little, like a little YouTube vlog channel kind of thing. So we did a little podcast with him, didn't we? He getting a little bit nervous, but
look, that's understandable. It's kind of a big sort of leap saying you want to do something to being put on the spot.
yeah. Oh,
How old is he?
9.
Oh, crikey, give him a break.
No. He's going to absolutely kill it once he gets up and going with it all. But
Hey, look, I'm in my 30s and I still get nervous.
I'm in my
50s and I'm crapping myself every time I get on it.
Yeah, but that's just age.
Here we go again.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, we've been watching a lot of stuff while he's been here, and I came in from work one day, and Lynn was saying, Luke has been watching all this stuff, and he's been telling everybody everything about Area 51, about the planes with the red stripe on them, and about the aliens there, and about the this and about the that. And I thought, you know what? That'd be a good little topic. You know, not just about Area 51, but about other secret bases and things like that. So, what have you guys heard about the different bases and bits and pieces?
It's off limits.
Well, I mean, I know Jay can't say much because he knows a little bit more than everybody else because of his background. But we can't go there. We've warned him 1,000 times. You do not say a word, so he's under shackles.
We don't need him locked up.
No.
I don't know a lot on a lot of these secret bases, supposedly secret bases, secret facilities. I know the Area 51 started a lot smaller than what it actually is now.
It did.
I think it started about, what was it, 9 miles by 10? Yeah, I think it was like 6 miles by 10 miles. So that's 10 kilometers by 16 kilometers.
Something like
and
that.
I think now it sits at about 37 by 40. So that's a vast increase in size. What are they hiding?
I don't know if it's.
What aren't they hiding?
Well, you know they're all hiding stuff anyway. But I think because of the popularity and everything about it, there's people trying to get a glimpse at it. So they're trying to push the boundaries out further, just so that people aren't getting in and getting a look.
Yeah, the amount.
The further out you push, the harder it is with a telephoto lens.
Yeah, that's true. It'll be interesting to see what any armed guards would have to say about the place. Not that they'd really be saying anything. They're probably sworn to secrecy, but...
Oh, you listen to some of the security things they've got in place for that. You know, everybody knows about the guards and things like that. You've got the black helicopters and everything that everybody knows about. But then it goes down to things like they have motion sensors, they have infrared sensors.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they have ammonia sensors in the ground so they can pick up the ammonia in human skin and differentiate between an animal moving and a human coming through. You know, that's scary, ridiculous, that.
Well, that'd be absolutely screwed if Bubble Boy was to roll past there.
They've even got footstep sensors. They can tell the difference between 4 and 2 and winged animals and all sorts of things.
Yeah. And you know what the scary thing about it is? Because everybody knows about Area 51 and S4 because of Bob Lazar and things like that, you've got to wonder about those bases that are still a secret.
The ones that haven't been exposed.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, there'd be heaps.
One of the rumors is that when Area 51 became big and, well, not big, but became public knowledge, that they had to get rid of the stuff, especially after Bob Lazar came out. I think it was 89 when he actually did his original thing. And I remember watching that. Oh, that put so much validity into my life after what I saw when I was younger, about 10 or so years before that. But once he came out, they would have had to look for somewhere else to store these things. And one of the rumours is that they were shipped over to Pine Gap here in Australia. And I've
actually heard that they tunnelled. Well, they were already underground at Area 51, but they've tunnelled even further along the coastline there, and they're miles and miles away from Area 51. That's where everything was taken, underground.
Yeah, that's S4. That's what I'm talking about. It's a few miles further away.
You just over my head now.
Oh, that's always been a long. I mean, one of the other big ones as well, which if you want to look it up, I mean, you might have problems spelling it, but is Dulce.
Was that spelled like Dolce? D-A-L-C-E?
D-U-L, something like that, yeah. I can't remember now. I didn't look it up. It's just something that's been in my thing for a long time. And they actually reckon that they found an entrance to it, which has been concreted over, but they do believe that it's still alive and kicking underground, and it's under one of the main airports as well, this massive base. And it's...
My guess is JFK International.
No, it's not there. It's
is this Dolce in Guatemala?
No, it's in America.
Is that the correct one?
No, it's in America. Dulce, something like that. It's some of the stuff. Yeah, they reckon there's all sorts of experiments go on there. They do a lot of like remote viewing and things like that there as well. So it's one of those bases where secret bases where lots of paranormal type experiments happen.
Is that the one where they took the people with the ESP type experiments back in the 70s?
That's the rumour, yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah, human and alien underground facility.
Yeah.
That's what it said. That's just from typing it up. That's what it said, starting in 1979.
There's all sorts of rumours. Like I said, you just don't know. I mean, we're really, when you talk about secret bases and things like that, everybody automatically thinks about the United States and things. But you can't tell me that many other countries don't have their own hidden bases as well.
Would you not compare it to like the Great Space Race? Like, who's going to want to be able to release information on extraterrestrials before anyone else?
Yeah.
If it's not going to be America or China, who's it going to be?
Well, that's it.
I'm not saying a word.
Yeah, poor Soldier Boy there is sort of tied to national security issues. They can't talk about
NDAs.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
it sucks.
Well,
George
Clinton Andrew discussed a Dolce base in his book Extraterrestrials Among Us in '86.
Another, I mean, everybody looks at. I mean, one of the things I thought about, especially what shows like that not Area 51. That Independence Day when that came out, and of course that looked into the whole Area 51 thing. And with it being so far underground, not many of them explain how they got the discs down there. And S4 sort of talks about it. It's a base that's built into the side of the mountain. The hangar doors open up and the craft come out. But when they close, the actual hangar doors are camouflaged on the outside, so it just looks like any other mountain. So any satellites going over aren't going to see them. And it makes you, because of the secrecy of them all, it makes you wonder what else is going on down there as well. I mean, you know what my brain's like when I get into all this stuff. You got to think to yourself, not all aliens are going to be in from outer space and things like that. You could have interdimensional. They could have technology like portal technology and things like that, where these underground bases, they could have a portal down there, a bit like Stargate, I guess. Where
it'd be like intergalactic planetary.
Yeah, and they could go, the long haul. I don't know what he was talking about then, but he's having a snigger about it.
He's talking about the Beastie Boys.
Someone got it.
I see. I'm showing my age now. So yeah.
So Jay's trying to hold the laughter when I said it. I'm like, yep, that's got him.
Jay's having one of those nights tonight where there's secrets he can't talk about, there's jokes he can't laugh about, The poor boy.
Intergalactic planetary.
That's what he gets for wearing a bloody Christmas T-shirt at this time of the year.
Exactly. Should I wear my shirt up or should I wear it down?
Don't do that.
All right, back on topic.
Okay.
Nah. You just thrown me.
So,
You go.
I
lost myself.
The Area 51 thing has always intrigued me ever since I was young.
It is.
I want to know what's down there.
Yeah.
I know they're hiding stuff, but I just don't know exactly what.
Oh, look, I know it's one of those. It is a testing ground where, you know, Lockheed and all of those do all their stuff. But there's, going on what Bob Lazar has to say, you know, advanced propulsion systems and, yeah, like I said, reverse engineering.
Makes sense.
Yeah. This thing that they were talking about, this show that we were watching today, they were talking about things like planes where they've had issues with interactions with UFOs and things like that. And one of them was, it was somewhere in the Middle East or somewhere like that. And this guy the pilot was asked to shoot the craft down, and he went, nope. And they said, if you don't shoot him down, you're going to be looking down the barrel, and your family will pay for it when you come back. And he did a runner into a different He flew the plane to a different country, landed, and asked for asylum in America. And they did, but they were able to get hold of the as part of the deal. They got the plane as well, which is a Russian, one of the MiGs, to reverse engineer it. But I mean, in all honesty, I don't think there's a lot that you have to reverse engineer with a MiG, because back then they, the America's far more superior, you would think, you know. And I wouldn't have a clue what goes into these new 5th gen fighter jets and things like that.
Lots of money.
Well, yeah, crap loads of that.
But in saying that too, I wouldn't take a crack shot at an alien craft either, an unknown kind of craft, because you don't know what their capabilities are. They could vaporize you in a second.
Well, you look at the technology involved in, like, take for instance the gimbal footage and the Tic Tac footage. Just the sheer. I'm not talking about the speed. I'm talking about the level of acceleration. Yeah. If anybody, yeah, well, you look at. No, we're just talking about acceleration at this point in time. If you know what it's like when you go in one of our high-powered jets, you get that push back into your seat feeling as the plane takes off. You times that by 1,000, you'd be a stain on the back if you didn't go right through the back wall.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that they've got inertial dampening, you know, to.
But they can stop the same way too, as well as take off at the same speed. They can stop on a dime.
It's not sideways movement. They can do right angle turns.
That's what I mean. The amount of G forces that would incur would pretty much just turn your body into jelly.
Mm. And what they say about S4 specifically, which is, I always tie it in as a offshoot of Area 51, is they've got 9 craft, and from what's being seen, they're all different, which means there's more than one
different
race out. Well, you're not going to say. I mean, you look at the different amount of fighters that we've got on Earth. We're one race, and we've got a multitude of different fighters and things. But you would hazard a guess that most of them would be from different independent races, opposed to different versions of the same thing. You know, especially when you're talking interstellar travel and things like that. That only have so many craft you would think that were capable of that kind of power output.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like I said, secret bases and things. If you tell me I'm not allowed to know something, you're only making me more and more want to know all about it. So
yeah, but that comes down to the old don't push the red button thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, give me that damn red button. I'm colorblind. It looks brown, but give me the red button.
Yeah.
But, I mean, so with these Area 51 and secret bases and the tests and the studies they're doing, you know, is there some part of your brain that goes, oh, I wonder if they're going down there after work and having beers with these extraterrestrials? You know,
well,
this spending time like.
Well, if
I don't know, my brain works differently.
No, it's funny you say that because this
playing cards and blowing a spliff, yeah.
This
Paul,
this documentary that we were watching today, they said when Area 51 was originally set up. Now, this is before it became as secret as what it is. They had a baseball field there. They had all sorts of little things. You know, it's sort of like a mini little town as away.
It was an actual community.
Yeah,
built for their soldiers.
Well,
yeah.
shit, how's baseball going to be fair if they can move their crafts that quick and have the technology to do it? They're going to be at home plate by the time you've left the ground.
But you're talking way back, and then obviously as the crafts start to come in, they have to start getting people away to the point where you go to Vegas and you go to the airport there, you'll see the old white planes with the grey tail and the big red stripe. They've got no markings, they've got no transponder codes or any of that sort of thing. They just take off and land. And it was the original FIFO as far as I heard. You know, this is way before you heard of FIFO over here, which for anybody who's around the world doesn't know what FIFO is, it's fly in, fly out kind of work, which is what Jay does. So, yeah.
Well, I don't know if he works too much, but...
Now.
I said too much. I didn't say he didn't work at all.
I earn my keep.
Anyway, we're keeping on topic, remember? So,
yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, they did with Lockheed. They used to fly the engineers, the flight mechanics and everything like that. They'd fly them in from Burbank, I believe.
Yeah.
Burbank Airport, and fly them in and fly them out from there to Area 51.
Well, not from there direct. They all flew from Vegas. They would have flown them out to Vegas and then from Vegas on from there.
Yeah, Burbank's not far from Vegas.
Burbank's in California, isn't it?
They used Burbank because it was a little less busy with the general population. So that's why they used Burbank as a fly-in, fly-out port for their workers, because they wouldn't be seen as much by the general public, whereas Vegas, that's pretty highly populated.
Yeah, would it have been like the old brown paper bag over their head? You're going to work, chuck this on?
Well, I don't think so.
I watched the thing on it today about a young flight mechanic that used to work there. And that was what he was saying. It was like they were all taken on the windows were all blacked out on the bus. They were all picked up from their residence, taken to Burbank Airport and flown out to Area 51. The windows were all blacked out, so they couldn't really figure out where they were. They went to work, did their swing, same way home.
See, I don't understand that. I don't understand why they're blacking out the windows on a bus when they know you're going to an airport and you're taking off. Once the plane's in the air, the general public can't generally track it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they didn't want the workers to actually know where they were.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't know where they were.
That was the whole point behind it. If they black out the windows, then they're disorientated. They can't really figure out, all right, we're flying northeast, so we must be heading out that way. It's got to be close to New Mexico.
No, I understand. I understand blacking out the windows in the plane. I understand that, but not in the bus. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
that was the way they did it, apparently. So.
But in saying that, though, wouldn't your whole bodily GPS kick in? Like, you could be asleep, fast asleep in your car, in the passenger seat, not driving, obviously, and you could tell by motion of the car that you've taken a right turn or a left turn, and then you count those turns. I don't know if you guys have done it yourself, but I could be dead asleep in the car, and you reach a certain point of the trip, you're like, oh, I'm close to home.
We were taught to do that sort of thing in the army, but it's not something the general public would do.
Yeah, well,
most of their mechanics and engineers and everything, they were general public people. They weren't military.
Yeah.
They were contractors.
If you guys go up in a plane, like I've got over 100 hours of pilot time. One of the things that they will do, especially when you're going for your instrument rating, is you've got a special visor that you put on so you can't see out the windows. You can only see your instruments. And one of the things they do with that is the pilot who sat next to you, who's teaching you, will actually fully black out, and you've got to try and work out based on your feeling if you're going flying level or if you're turning and stuff like that. And it is very hard to work out if you're flying straight and level. You know, it'll say lift your visor up now, and you'll have a look, and your horizon's on a funny angle like that, and your pitch is up. And where I'm going with that is, if they're going to fly like that, if they do small movements rather than a full bank, you're never going to know. You know, you only really know it when they bank the plane over, you know, sort of rake one or something like that turn. But not slight little corrections. Certainly not enough to pick a direction.
We're talking back in the the 50s and 60s when a lot of technology wasn't out yet, so people wouldn't have thought about that sort of stuff.
No,
really.
but all I'm saying is that it would be easy to disorient people with the windows down, because same thing applies. If all the windows down, you don't have any visual reference for horizon. So, yeah.
I mean, they just did everything in secret. So that right off the bat tells you that there's something out there they don't want the general public to know, because the thing is, knowledge is power. If they've got reverse technology of stuff from out of our world, then if they bring it out as general public knowledge, then they've just lost their race for, well, basically call it the arms race. You know, like every other country is going to be on the bandwagon. Okay, we can get reverse engineer on something and come out with zero gravity stuff the same as what the aliens are using the same technology. But if the Americans keep it to themselves, then they hold all the aces.
How do you know that other countries aren't even more advanced than the Americans? We only know about the Americans because
it's highly publicized.
They're not very good. They're not very good at keeping secrets. Well, they are good at keeping secrets, but not keeping secrets about their secret bases.
I know that Russia has been doing it for the same amount of time as the Americans have, with UFO studies and things like that. China, not so much, but now they're in bed with China. It's going to be scary.
The Nazis had a working UFO, albeit it could only get 10, 15 feet off the ground, in the Second World War.
Yeah.
And what happened was, at the end of the Second World War, with Operation Paperclip, everybody took a free dive to get all of the German scientists and things like that. So the same basic stuff that they were working on back then will be now split up amongst the Americans, amongst the Russians, and whoever else got some of these scientists that were working on projects for the Nazis at the time. So that's why a lot of the things are all going along the same path, but it all comes down to, if you can capture a crashed UFO, then you've got something to reverse engineer. Yeah,
I think that's what happened with Roswell.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it won't just be America. There'll be other places. I wouldn't be surprised if we've got them, but we might be better at keeping secrets, maybe, you know.
So we just ended up with a tank. Hey, stuff the UFO, we're going for the tank.
But yeah, mate, I think it was a meteorite that they said was the big Tunguska thing in the 1920s or 30s, whenever that happened. But other people, conspiracy people, reckon it might have been a UFO that crashed and the power source went kaboom. So,
yes, I mean, it's like I was saying when we were speaking with Luca. Are they using nuclear energy?
Well, I think it was the new element that came out on the periodic table.
Element 115.
Element 113 or something.
115.
115, that's it. That's something that wasn't on this Earth. Now we're able to recreate that element.
Well, the thing about that as well is, it's something that Bob Lazar came out with way back when he first blew the whistle on everything. He talked about element 115, and the periodic table didn't go that high at the time, so they were all crackpots and working on him. But they've, like you said, they've been able to create, albeit a few molecules or particles, whatever it is, of this element 115.
What it would take to build an alien craft. They reckon that's basically what they're made from.
It's not. No, it's not what they're made of. It's to do with the propulsion system that they have.
Yeah.
What it is, element 115 is the fuel that powers the. Bob Lazar described it as like a ball, but when it activates, it creates a anti-gravity field below it, which lifts it up, but it also creates a gravity well above it. So you got gravity above, and you got anti-gravity below. So gravity's pulling it this way, and they can manipulate it in any direction they want. So they've got no fossil fuels that they're actually using. So they're not going to run out of fuel. So long as the power source that they've built stays intact, they're always going to be able to fly wherever they want. And technically, with gravity, there's no limit to the capacity of speed or anything that you can do with it.
Yeah, I just had a look up. I just had a look up for the periodic table 115, and you got 2 for some reason, which is really odd. You've got ununpentium and moscovium.
Moscovium's the one.
All right, because it's in the Encyclopedia Britannica that I can find that.
Yeah.
Synthetically prepared at 20 degrees Celsius physical state.
I didn't go that far into that because the science stuff, that stuff bores the crap out of me. But
without science, you wouldn't have this.
Hey, look, everything that we talk about is all about when we do
Science.
our paranormal investigations and things like that. Yeah, we're out there to try and prove that the paranormal is a real thing, but more than anything, we're trying to come up with that one piece of evidence that's compelling enough that it will make the scientific community go, okay, well, we've got something that we can study and put an end to it once and for all. Because, I mean, you think about 500 years ago, science laughed at the thought of us living on a ball. It was just a flat world, and, you know, when you reach the end, you fall off it. But when science got involved and you could prove that we're on a sphere, then it became mainstream. And it's the same for several different things. You know, they said we could never be able to fly. Then the Wright brothers got us up in the air, and then it went from there. And this is just the next.
They're not conspiracy theorists. They're spoiler alerts.
Pretty much.
I'm keeping my
there
mouth
you
shut.
go. So there you go. With my question about using nuclear power with their crafts, it says moscovium is an extremely radioactive element. It's also its most stable known isotope, moscovium 290, has a half-life of only 0.65 seconds.
Yeah. Well,
How the hell are they getting enough moscovium to last trips?
Well, this is the thing, you know, they're
Not unless they're like us and they mine for it on their planet.
Yeah, there's a full table here saying how to make it.
yeah. Oh, I'm not planning on having a crack at it.
Well, can you imagine if you could power your car on that?
Just put your anarchist book away.
Yeah.
I'm actually
Anyway,
waiting for it in the mail.
we are just about out of time.
Damn, already?
Yeah. That's the beauty of the. If people didn't realise it, we're actually going to start doing a few shorter shows just to see how we go with them and see if we can get some better content out there. But this is our first crack at it, so just when we're starting to get our legs going with this thing, we're sort of out of time. So don't do that. That looks so wrong. Have you added something in on that photo?
Pardon?
It looks like
I've
you've
just got a
added
question
something.
for both of you.
Yes.
Go on.
Back in 2019, you had all these weird keyboard warriors wanting to storm the gates of Area 51.
Mm-hmm.
If you had the chance, would you go?
No.
If I had the chance without being shot by the security, yes.
Oh, yeah, if that was the case, but you know what they're like. They're very...
Naruto run.
No. So that's what I mean. Who's to say they don't have landmines and certain mines set out?
No. Anyway, guys, we've got to go. So I'll see you all next week.
Roger that.
See yous.